was at the age of 14 when I had a nervous breakdown and I attempted suicide. So I'm a writer by passion, a storyteller by obsession, a communicator by profession, and a cancer warrior by determination. How come me? Why me? Poor me? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm slim and trim. So I decided, as a writer, storyteller, and an inspirational speaker, I had to rewrite my script. I had to create my own story, live it, and love it.
Hello everyone and welcome to Health Circle. This side Sonal, and Health Circle is a platform where we have real honest conversation about health, healing and human spirit. I am your host Sonal and today is one of those episodes that will truly stay with you. My guest today has lived a life that is extraordinary in every level. As a writer, as a storyteller and as a fighter, he has faced one of the life's most brutal challenges and come out to the other side, not broken but transformed. He has made it his mission to make sure no one on his journey should ever feel alone. Ramendra Kumar, or Ramen as he is fondly known as, is an award-winning author, storyteller, TEDx speaker, and cancer warrior. With his 54 books to his credit, his work has been translated into 33 languages. He has received 41 All India Awards for Children Literature, and his books published by National Book of Trust has sold over 1.5 million copies. His incredibly brave fight against cancer has been featured on several national and international platforms, inspiring a vast global audience. Ramen, welcome to Health Circle. It is an immense pleasure to welcome you here in our show. And now I would like to know who is Ramen and can you describe yourself in your words?
Thank you. Thank you for the lovely introduction. So, I'm a writer by passion, a storyteller by obsession, a dancer by inspiration, a perfect husband by aspiration, a communicator by profession, and a cancer warrior by determination. My family thinks I'm insane. I call myself Ramen.
What a lovely introduction, yeah. So, Raman, can you take us back to the time when everything has started? Your earliest time of your life, like what was your profession and what was Raman at the age of 10 or 12?
So, I've had a very tough childhood and a very tortuous journey, especially when it concerns my health. So, the first red flag was at the age of 14 when I had a nervous breakdown and I attempted suicide. I was saved by my father. So, the condition which I was going through is what is called bipolar, which
Okay.
is an extremely, what should I say, difficult ailment, mental issue, which not many people talk about. And in normal parlance, it is associated with a mood swing. In casual conversation, you say, oh, he's bipolar. He swings from happy to sad. But no, this is a mental disease which can
Mm-hmm.
cripple you for life. It can destroy your personal relationship. It can destroy you. I went without diagnosis because during those days, mental health space was really not that aware. The awareness was not there. So I went without diagnosis till the age of 35. So for 20 years, I struggled with this bipolar ailment. And I had terrible mood swings. For 6 months. I would be down and out in the dumps, depression, despondency. And for the next 6 months, I would be on such a high that arguing with everybody. I'm the master of all I'm the monarch of all I survey, and would get very aggressive. But the creativity would just be brilliant. I could just, and the confidence was almost super human. So this was one. Then over the years, I was diagnosed with a condition called brittle diabetes, where the sugar levels, like my wife's mood sometimes, move from the very low, hypo, to extremely high on the same day. Like 46 early in the morning, 15, 16 hours later, 510. This is called brittle diabetes. To manage this condition, I'm fitted with a insulin pump, which is 24/7. I was also diagnosed with a condition called silent thyroiditis, where the sugar levels move, where the thyroid levels move from one extreme to the other. I also had trysts with COVID and tuberculosis. And finally, the big daddy of them all, cancer.
Oh my God, I cannot even imagine like so many things in so many years you've gone through. And during and how coming to your career along with this, like um, how like you spent years in corporate communication, a very demanding profession, and how did you manage that profession with the profession of writing also?
So I believe that if you have the inclination, you'll have the time. Writing has always been my passion. And I followed it right from the age of, I think, 7 or 8 when I wrote my first poem. And then during college, I pursued it quite seriously and on the job. So basically, I'm always in the space of creativity. I believe ideas are like sparks all around you. Anything and
Mhm.
everything can spark an idea which can turn into a poem or a satire or a story. For instance, my conversation with Sonal, uh, something which I hear on a train journey, a message on Insta, a post on Facebook, a tweet, the hand of a parent caressing a child, a walk in the park with your granddad, anything and everything.
Mhm.
And one has to be open. So I used to always do that. And I never used to socialize very much. No going to the boss's house with a bottle of you know what and
Mhm.
talking shop or going to the club for a booze session. It was always my family and my passion. And I have been blessed by God and my God, that's my father, and I have this ability to store ideas in my head. Like, suppose I'm getting an idea, I can form it almost completely with the plot, with the character, with the structure, with sometimes the dialogues also, and keep it for days, weeks,
Mhm.
months, and sometimes years. An idea which came to me in 1986, I wrote a story based on that in 1998, 12 years later. And
Wow.
most importantly, Sonal, I can write in chaos. Now, I was working in a government undertaking. And in a government undertaking, meetings go on and on. A 60-minute meeting would have 55 minutes of horse manure and 5 minutes of sense. So I would be
Yes.
sitting right in front of the managing director and just nodding my head and smiling. And he would be thinking that I'm, noting down the pearls of wisdom which he's speaking. But I would be writing a story or a satire long, long ago, sometimes in a place far, far away. So I have written in meetings, I have written even during a train ride on a railway platform, in the airport. So that ability to shut the universe and concentrate in the here and now on my writing, which I've been blessed because of my father. That I think has made me, it has made my writing, my passion, a possibility 24/7 for the last so many years. And that's why 54 books, more than 250 short stories.
So when was the point of time when you decided now this is writing is something you'll take full time and you left your corporate job? What was that? Like how many years before?
So I was anyway writing whenever I could
Oh,
get a chance, but I was actually sick and tired of working, 9 to 9 for a person in the corporate communication space, and I thought enough was enough. And
monoton.
a very good
Yeah.
voluntary retirement scheme came, and
Mm-hmm.
both my wife and I were working as general managers, and we decided to quit. She has her own passions, I have mine. So we decided to devote our time and energy to the family because my children were in Bangalore. We shifted to Bangalore, and I went full time into my writing. For 9 months, it was fantastic. And then cancer struck.
And we say like writers often heals others through their stories. But did writing ever heal you also during your health, since you told like your health journey is since the beginning? Have you ever felt
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
is for you? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a lovely question. And writing has been a catharsis for me over the years. Sometimes I used to express my angst, my frustration uh, in the job, listening to bullshit throughout uh, through my satires. So I would just cut loose on paper or on the laptop and write funny stuff, whatever I experienced in my office. In fact, I have written a satire which was a Amazon bestseller on my entire journey as a public relations or a corporate communications executive over the years. And that has been a kind of a catharsis, like I said. And also, I have written my memoir, my autobiography, which is with my literary agent, and there I explored the darker side, especially of my childhood, the trauma I faced, the scars, the wounds. So yes, writing does heal, and it has healed me, and I'm sure it will continue to heal.
I'm sure, Raman. Raman, I'll go back to the previous question. Like we talked about your health struggles, and then finally you told that there was a time when you left corporate job, you were full time into writing, and then finally the diagnosis came. What was your first reaction with the diagnosis of cancer?
So, Sonal, I was sitting in the gastroenterologist's chamber with my beautiful, gorgeous wife, Madhavi, my pretty daughter, Ankita, and my handsome son, Aniket, when the doctor had a look at some reports, blood reports, a PET scan, the biopsy, and he declared absolutely poker faced, like he's reading from the railway timetable. Mr. Ramendra Kumar, you've got colon cancer. Then he talked about radiation and surgery and chemotherapy and a stoma bag and whatnot. I stumbled out of his chamber and we went to the hospital canteen, and there I simply cut loose. How come me? Why me? Poor me. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm slim and trim. Then how come this damn scourge has slammed into me? There was angst, there was anger, there was agony, there was rage, there was frustration, and even some tears. Sonal, at that moment, I saw the faces of the three people I love the most in my life simply crumple. It was as if they were seeing my death in my own eyes. At that instant, I decided I couldn't do this to them. It was not their fault that I had been diagnosed by this deadly scourge. So I decided, as a writer, storyteller, and an inspirational speaker, I had to rewrite my script. I had to create my own story, live it, and love it. You already know my health struggles, both mental and physical. All this I managed with my mantra of managing every tumor with humor. And I decided that now I would go back to this mantra of mine.
This is so incredible, Raman, the way you see things. I would like to know what were the early symptoms which made you to go for these cancer tests.
So the symptoms were not very, very obvious because there is you lose weight, you become very
Mm-hmm.
weak,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's quite visible. But for me, the only symptom was that I had some kind of bloating in the tummy, and the bowel movement was a bit irregular. That was the only thing. So I went to the doctor, and he prescribed some medicines. It didn't work. And again, he gave me a course of 2 weeks. On the 13th day, there was blood in my stool. That
Mm-hmm.
was when the alarm bells rang, and I rushed to the doctor. He prescribed colonoscopy and various other tests, and the confirmation came that I had colon cancer.
What stage was it when you actually diagnosed?
This was stage
Oh,
2B.
okay. And as you told that your one mantra which worked in cancer is managing tumor with a humor. Can you describe more about this? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'll talk about this as a strategy later, but I just want
Mhm.
to take you through the journey itself. So for
Okay.
1 year, I battled cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I underwent three septic shocks. The
Mm-hmm.
probability of surviving one septic shock is only 30%. So three times I knocked on the door of death, shook hands with Lord Yamraj, and walked back to the kingdom of the living. My beautiful, gorgeous wife played Savitri to my Satyavan. Four major surgeries, 10 rounds of chemo, 5 rounds of radiation, and I was in the ICU for 40 days. Throughout all this, my family was with me, rock hard, my anchor. Their daily routine had become taking me to the for taking me for blood tests, trying to make sense of the reports. And when they would visit me in the ICU, they would never be sure that they would see me alive during the next visit. Throughout this chaos, Sonal, they never ever pressed the panic button. They never ever made me realize the kind of hell I was going through. That's my incredible family for you. Usually, youngsters in their late 20s or early 30s give you logistic support, the best hospital, the best care, the best treatment, but they don't give you their time, energy, and effort. My children, Ankita and Aniket, kept their career and their life on hold for almost a year, and they were with their papa and mom throughout. And that's why I'm sitting here and talking to you.
Wow, Ramin, you're blessed with such lovely kids and family, and I'm sure they have helped you a lot in overcoming this sea. So, can you tell me more about this? Is like why these septic shocks come? Like, is it the surgery? Because of surgery, the septic shocks came, or it was a regular chemo thing, and then, like, can you
No,
describe
no,
it?
it was because of the surgery. Something went wrong with the surgery. I was diagnosed with a condition called diabetes insipidus, which was directly a result of the medicines I was taking for uh, bipolar.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to have stopped those medicines, but nobody told me, and I continued taking them. So a side effect of that was diabetes insipidus, which led me to the septic shock.
Okay. And as you told about, you mentioned about bipolar and then cancer. How did you manage both? Like bipolar, as you said, is a condition where you feel extreme. One side of the path is feels like everything is going to go. Like what were the moments? What gave you strength at that time? How did you manage both the conditions simultaneously?
So, 95, I've been on meds, bipolar medicines, which have kept me stable. But more important has been, I think, my own resilience. I came to terms with bipolar. And during cancer, cancer was so overwhelming that nothing else mattered. And I had always been able to manage my bipolar condition through, like I said, meds, and more importantly, through my own self therapy, self analysis, trying to live in the present, trying to make sense of the condition I'm going through. I mean bipolar. But cancer swept aside everything. Then it was only raw, physical, and mental torture.
What gave you hope on your darkest? Like there must be days with septic shocks that must you must have thought that this is the end or this is something like how what gave you hope?
So for me, the biggest thing was living in the moment. I know that in cancer, the only certainty is the uncertainty. It is like a stealth warrior. It can always creep back and attack you. But if I start worrying about the future, I will smudge, smash, and smother the beautiful moments which God has blessed me today. So I don't wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. I rush forward, grab the light, make it my own, and try to share it with others. This has been my biggest coping mechanism to be in the here and now. No regrets of the past, no anxiety about the future, but in the moment.
what advice you would like to give to the caregiver? Like in your case, your wife, Madhvi, and your children, they, as you told you, they supported with all the calm patience, they left everything. So, what is your one advice to the caregivers or the people who are managing cancer patients or any other patients?
So, my one advice would be that give your loved one who's suffering from cancer or any major crisis, show them empathy, not sympathy. आप उनका सहारा बनो, बैसाखी नहीं.
So beautifully
Don't
said.
live their life for themselves.
Hmm.
Handhold them, but don't become their crutch.
Hmm.
That is the most important thing. Don't make them feel that they are not normal, that they are helpless. Give them the sense that sometimes it is okay to be not okay. Allow them to share their vulnerabilities. Allow them to cry. Allow them to feel that pain, but be with them, be for them every moment.
Very nicely said, Raman. I would also like to know more about the diet, exercise, and after treatment, like after surgery. What worked for you as a patient? Do you think diet and exercise
So
need
strictly, yeah, strictly in terms of diet and exercise, I have a stoma bag because my large intestine has been cut off and the small intestine has been brought out and a stoma bag fitted to collect the fecal matter. So I have
Mm-hmm.
to empty it at least 7, 8 times a day and a couple of times a night and replace it every week or 10 days. So at night, I try to avoid taking too much of fluids because then the bag would fill up, and I would have to get up more than 2 times or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, there is no restriction for me. But I would like to advise them because for every cancer, every stage, and every patient, the diet is different. So I would say that the patient should go to the dietitian and the doctor and ask for the specific diet depending on their age, their stage, and their condition. As far as my exercise was concerned, I go for swimming 5 times a week and walk every day. That's kept
Okay.
me on toes.
And coming to the mindset and meditation, like what spiritual practices or mental strategies you use which help you to heal?
So I have found that my meditation is my writing. My
Okay.
mindfulness is my writing. So when I'm in the space of creativity, while I'm writing or sharing inspirational thoughts, I'm completely focused. That for me works best. That is both a relaxation, a meditation, and some kind of re-energizing myself.
So you would suggest people to focus on their hobbies or whatever they like so that they get busy and focus and feel happy about their work and then whatever
I
gives
would
them
ask them to follow their passions,
follow their
whatever it
passion.
might be. It can be gardening, it can be music, it can be yoga. Because when you are following your passion, those negative thoughts do not intrude into your mind space and mess it up.
Yes. So I mean the mindset one has to take that mindset that everything is positive or rather not think about anything and just focus on the passion and live their life
It's
and
not
do their best.
easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. But when you're following your passion, it helps
Hmm.
you.
Yes. I would like to know more about your book which you have written, Coping with Cancer. Can you take us there and tell us more about the book?
So
Is
I
this
think
book
the
for?
best way would be if I can read from the blurb, because that
Hmm.
would give an idea to the viewers what
Mhm.
exactly is the book and why I wrote it.
Mhm.
A cancer diagnosis can seem, first, let me show the cover, right? This
Yeah.
was a Amazon bestseller for several weeks, and it went into its second reprint in the very
Mhm.
first year of its publication. So here's the
Wow.
blurb. A cancer diagnosis can seem like the death knell for most.
Mhm.
Patients and their caregivers experience confusion, anxiety, uncertainty, distress, and morbid fear. What are the strategies they can use to cope with their feelings and emotions and navigate through the chaos caused by cancer? Coping with Cancer is a research based book which provides practical insights to manage the big C. Each concept carries an introductory note, supplemented by real life case studies, almost all of which are based on Indian examples. So, just let me briefly read out the strategies: learning to accept, living in the present moment, normalizing, creating an ecosystem of positivity, connecting with the self, investing in relationships, because आपके रिश्ते ही आपका सबसे बड़ा खजाना है. Finding a sense of purpose, building resilience, pursuing a passion, like I mentioned, moving from fear to faith, taking humor seriously. Every strategy is easy to internalize and practice, and the thread running through the narrative is my own personal experience of battling cancer in its most dreaded avatar and emerging victorious. This is a must have handbook which explores different mechanisms beyond medical paradigms, beyond hospital, beyond treatment, beyond PET scan, beyond surgeries. And the basic objective is that I feel this book is not only for cancer, it is for any crisis, whether it's a death of a beloved, a divorce, an accident, a loss of a job. These simple strategies can be internalized and practiced.
What are the three most, as you walked us to so many things one has to do, like 10 things. What three things you think is most important learning from your book, which everyone should take?
So, first, I would say from fear to faith, and let me give you an example from my own journey. So, on 16th of April, I suffered my first septic shock.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors called my family and they asked them to go and visit me in the ICU. And they said that he doesn't have many hours to live. My blood pressure had plummeted to 55 by 35. And despite the strongest medicines known to doctors, it was not coming up. I was lying unconscious on a ventilator. My hands and feet had swollen up. They had turned blue and cold. Ankita, Aniket, and my wife Madhavi, they walked in, and God knows what got into Ankita, that she placed her hand on my forehead and started rubbing it and talking to me. Papa, you can't do this to us. Just can't go away. You've always told us that it's the mind over the matter, and now it's time for you to prove it. You've been my hero. You have fought the toughest of battles with your mantra of humor. You have faced every challenge, and now you're just going away. The scene was exactly like a Bollywood masala movie of the 70s or the 80s. The hero, in this case, the comedian, is lying on a stretcher. His family is around praying for a miracle, which happens in the films. But Sonal, this was real life, not real life. But yet, as my daughter continued talking and my son and my wife joined, the blood pressure actually started moving up bit by bit by bit, 50, 60, 75, 80, 90, 95. And when it plateaued at 117, the doctors came in, asked my family to move out, and they took me to surgery. When I came to know and I asked the doctors, most of them were skeptical, but there was a retired professor of Nimhans Institute of Psychiatry who said that there was some connect, some energy between you and your daughter Ankita, which brought you back from the door of death to the kingdom of life. Now, how do you explain? When I needed my princess the most, she just created a miracle for me. So that is why I believe that faith is very important. It can be in any individual, any person. I won't say it is this God or that God, but some entity out there who is looking after us, who is there for us in the best of times and the worst of times. Second, like I said, invest in relationships. So I have this, you must have heard of ATM card. Anytime money card, automatic teller machine. So
Yes,
I've
yes.
created my own ATM card called Anytime Memory. So how do you create memories? You need two four-letter words, love and time. And you create memories by taking a walk with your partner, playing with your puppy, dancing in the rain, teaching the nuances of WhatsApp to your grandma, playing chess with your grandfather, or just sitting and watching the Indian women's team smashing their opponents and lifting the cup. So keep storing these memories because this card is unique. It cannot be hacked, it cannot be torn, it cannot be lost, it cannot be broken. And irrespective of the vagaries of the stock market, its value keeps rising because it is priceless. And when you are down and out, encash this card and be happy.
Oh,
The
wow.
third, the third
Mm-hmm.
concept is take humor seriously. Whether your bum is on the boil or you have a boil on your bum, chill, man. Nothing is permanent. Let me give you two examples. So, when I was struggling with cancer, one of my doctor friends rang up and said, Ramen, you have gone berserk on social media. I had posted parodies and jokes and wacky messages and my dance videos with my daughter Ankita on social media. So this doctor said that now you have to internalize. आपको अंतर्मुखी होना है.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, doctor, for the last 6 months, then half of Bangalore is staring into my rectum, and my rectum has got more eyeballs than the Natu Natu dance. How much more internalizing should I do? Then there was this relative of my wife Madhavi who spoke to her and said, "ये रमेन क्या कर रहा है? What is he doing? He is flirting with death. He is making a mockery of a dreaded disease like cancer. If he continues doing this, he will die in bits and pieces." I told Madhavi, tell him that Ramen will not allow any colon cancer to put a full stop, a comma, or even a semicolon to his creativity and humor. Also, tell him that Ramen believes in two great philosophers. Gabbar Singh, who in 1975 said, "Jo dar gaya, samjho mar gaya." And Pushpa in 2002 who declared, "मैं झुकेगा नहीं."
Oh, wow, what very beautifully said. The three things which mentioned, that fear over faith, and then with taking memories and keeping your family together. I mean, this is life. This is what every one of us should work on to have a better living ahead. So, Ramendra, when your daughter, you mentioned your daughter was talking to you, what exactly was going on your head when your daughter was talking to you that
I,
you have
Sonal, I
anxiety
don't remember anything. I was
attack?
unconscious. It was like a state of coma. I was knocked out. I was only told later, but somewhere there was a connect which
I'm
cannot be
sure.
described. Yeah. And I responded to that message. My body and my mind responded
Yes.
to that message. Those words, those gestures,
Yeah.
somewhere there was that energy.
Do you believe in God or supreme power who is saving you all the time?
True, I have. Some, I won't want to give it a name.
Hmm.
Though my
Hmm.
favorite God is Lord Krishna, but Lord Jagannath, but I wouldn't want to give it a name, give that power a name. I believe in that persona. I believe in Lord Jagannath. I believe in Lord Krishna. But you can believe in any God or any supreme power
Hmm.
who's taking care of us. But that faith is important.
Yes, faith is something very important that keeps all of us going, I think. So, Raman, in your book, you have written mostly about Indian real life case stories. Which one story that touched you personally and why?
Almost all stories are inspirational, but one which struck a chord is of a very young girl called Tanisa Dhingra. So just let me read out her reaction when she was diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic ovarian cancer only a few months before her 23rd birthday. She writes, "Nothing can hurt you without your permission." So I didn't let cancer break me. It made me a new person. I wanted to make a significant difference to society and bring awareness that life is beyond my disease. It is in moments you miss out on living. In the 5 years after being diagnosed with ovarian cancer, Tanisha managed to spread not just immense joy, but helped thousands of others break free of the stigma that cancer carries.
It's all the mindset one has, like how one thinks, how one has the idea of taking things happening to him or her. So, Raman, when you are like was writing this book, took you back to the time when must be having a lot of painful memories throughout your cancer journey while treating it. Was it difficult to write this book? Did it push you hard, or did it heal you more? I'm talking about this your cancer book,
That's a
which is
great question. That's a great question, Sonal. So while writing the book, it was actually my way of giving back to the universe. My basic objective was, if through this book, if I can help even one individual out there who's fighting some crisis, my purpose will be served. Yes, there were moments when, I had to relive those painful memories, but I think I'm strong enough, to go beyond that memory and think of the purpose. So for me, the purpose was overriding, not that painful memory.
So, what one piece of advice you will give it to someone who is suffering from cancer listening to you now, and how should they take their life forward? What one single advice you'll give it to young people? Yeah.
So the one advice I would give is to accept and normalize. You accept the issue, right? So
Hmm.
when I came back from the hospital and I had my first look in the mirror, I burst out crying because I've always considered myself to be reasonably good looking, but the person who was staring at me was just skin and bone. I was only a skeleton, right? And I never thought, I mean, there was no idea that whether I'll be able to get back to normalcy. I even contemplated suicide. But then I thought, if after all those efforts my family, made for me, they were around me, if I leave, that would shatter them. Do they deserve that? That gave me the strength to continue. So slowly and steadily, I went back to my passions. I tried to normalize my existence. Now I have a stoma bag to my right, an insulin pump to my left, and in my heart, my beautiful, gorgeous wife. Three permanent attachments. With the stoma bag and the insulin pump, I managed to swim. The doctors are absolutely gobsmacked that how do I swim? So my son got me a ostomy swimwear in which I tuck the stoma bag, wear my normal costume, and I'm able to swim for 40 to 45 minutes every day for 5 days a week. I go
Wow.
out and conduct storytelling sessions. I even dance on stage. When I came back from the hospital, the doctors told me I won't be able to walk around my house for 6 months. Sonal, on this 31st day of the 6th month, I was dancing on stage to Batamiz Dil.
Wow. What matters to you most now, and what has become the most important thing in life today? What do you think is the most important? What thing
So,
matters you most? Yeah.
so what matters to me, like I said, are moments. I don't relish milestones. I cherish moments. There is an author, English, very famous writer called Somerset Maugham. He has written a book called The Moon in Sixpence. The central concept is most of us, while taking a walk, look for the sixpence and miss out the moon,
Mm-mm.
right?
Mm.
So I believe in getting my priorities right. And my priority is living in the moment, enjoying every nanosecond of my existence with my family, my Labrador Aryan, who's a part of my family, my youngest child, and my passions, reaching out to as many people as I can, and never ever being scared or anxious about tomorrow.
Living in the moment.
It's not
Yeah,
easy.
it's
Believe me,
not
it's
easy.
not easy. I have to will myself. There's not a single day after my discharge when I don't have some pain somewhere. Sometimes it also becomes unbearable. I've gone for sigmoidoscopy a couple of times. I've gone for PET scan every 3 months, blood tests every 3 months. But I don't allow that to overwhelm me. I know it's not easy. But is
Mm.
there any choice, Sonal? If I crumple, what's going to happen to my family? I call them Ma. Madhvi, Ankita, and Aniket. What's going to
Wow.
happen to my ma? I can't do that to them.
This has,
I want to end. I want to
yeah.
end with a short parody on Amitabh Bachchan's famous soliloquy in the movie Silsila, Mai or Meri Tanhai. So here I
Mhm.
address cancer, Mai or Mera Cancer.
Wow, wow, wow. This is
Mhm.
such beautifully written, Ramen. And thank you so much, Ramen. And for everyone listening to us today, please look up for Ramendra Kumar's book, Coping with Cancer. If you or someone you love is on the journey, this book is written for you and it's going to help you a lot. Sometimes the right words at the right time change everything. There must be someone who's going through a
True.
lot right now and losing the faith in life and everything, but sharing this video and to someone who needs it can help him or her a lot. So thank you so much for all of us joining here and see you
My
till the next
privilege, my
session.
pleasure.
Thank you so much, Raman, for taking out time for us and for everyone around you listening to you. Thank you so much.